Hello, this is your teacher, Paul, on Learn American English Online. It's it's January 2nd, 2026. And today I'm going to be on for just about 15 or 20 minutes. I was on yesterday and I'm back today. This is kind of an experiment to see what kind of interest there is in this live webcast, especially if I were to do it more frequently. I'm curious to know how many people would actually show up. What's the level of interest in having your teacher come out more often and talk about the things that interest you and about learning English. So today I'm going to do three things. First, I'll just revisit the topic from yesterday. That was the topic of setting goals for 2026. What is it that you hope to be able to do in the new year? So that's the first thing. And then I'm going to refer to my website, englishfortheplanet.com, and um, direct your attention to lesson two, which is on the word there. If any of you recall my previous website, what I did on that website was every day I featured a lesson that was in each of the seven levels. I went in order 1 through 30 for each level and for each day of the month, so that after 7 months, a person who um, visited the website every day could conceivably have learned basic and intermediate level English enough, I think, to do fairly well in communicating. So I'm going to try to do that again here, but I'll do it differently. Um, I'll do something different from what I did in the previous website. Instead, I think I can go to the lessons in order. Today's the second, so we would be on lesson two. Tomorrow is the third, so we would go to lesson three, and so on. So today I'll talk about the word there. That's in lesson two. And then the phrasal verb get through. I thought I could talk about that a little bit and how you can use get through, what it means, and how you can use it. So, so the first thing is, you know, again, goals for 2026. What is it that you hope to be able to accomplish? What do you want to do in terms of improving your English? But it could be some other goal that you have. Perhaps yesterday you might not have given it a lot of thought, and since that time, perhaps you have given it some thought. What are your goals? What do you want to do? Another thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to set a timer for each section of the webcast. I put this on 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, you'll hear a signal of some sort indicating I need to change the topic, do something different. And that's just so if I get hung up on one thing, then you know that I'll move on to something else. And that might help keep this more interesting So you should be able to hear it. It's on my phone. I just put the signal to change on my phone. So let's see how that works. So those 3 things, goals, the word there, and, and the phrasal verb get through. So the first thing I'll do is I'll talk about goals. So this will be a continuation of yesterday. What do you want to do in 2026? What do you hope to accomplish? Or I could say, what do you hope to do? Yesterday, I shared some of my own personal goals just to kind of get you thinking about what it is that you might be planning. Um, and I think I mentioned that I want to improve the webcast. And I have some software which I'm learning how to use. I haven't spent that much time with it yet. I'm just occasionally dabbling with it and and eventually hope to learn how to use it properly. But right now I'm just dabbling. I'm dabbling with software. Dabble. That is, if you dabble in something, it's like you know, experiment. You try something new, you dabble in it. You can dabble in investing, dabble in politics, dabble in webcasting, dabble in web development, dabble in a sport. So I'm just dabbling in it for now, and gradually I think I'll bring it out and try it, see how it works. For now, I'm just using this um, ordinary software provided by YouTube, which I think a lot of people use. It is the easiest thing to use. So that's why I'll continue to use it. Um, let's see. So a student says uh, her goal is to get her master's degree in psychology. That's great. That's Maria. Great. We need more people who have that kind of knowledge in the world that can help a lot of people. Uh, Another student wants to become or wants to get maybe ACCA membership. I'm not sure what that is, but that's a good goal. You know, if you want to become a member of an organization, that that could be a good goal. Yeah, the beginning of the year is a great opportunity, I think, for you to start with a fresh slate. You know, that's what you'll often hear people say. The on the In the new year, you begin with a clean slate. And a slate is a surface on which a person can write. I think that's where the expression comes from. You know, kind of like a chalkboard. A chalkboard is a type of slate. When you have a clean slate, there's nothing on it. You haven't written anything on it. You haven't touched it. You haven't changed it at all. It's all fresh. It's all new. So you begin with a clean slate. And that means you can try new things, new relationships, new opportunities, new job, new ideas. You have an idea for something. We live in interesting times now where with the internet, you can do pretty much whatever you want to do. Oh, there goes my timer. It's been 5 minutes already. All right. So um, I'm going on to my next topic. I was talking about goals and mentioned a few goals that people have. So let's move on. I'm going to go to there. I'm starting my timer again. 5 minutes on there. Okay. So lesson two on englishfortheplanet.com. You'll see there is I explain the reason for the word there. And I think this is an important word because it's one of those small words a lot of people forget about using. And remember that we use there when introducing facts, ideas, the existence of things. It's very, very common word. And if you're not using it, then you really should. You know, when you talk about a problem, there's a problem. Uh, or if you ask somebody if you can be of an assistance, you might say, "What is there for me to do? Is there something I can do for you? Is there something I can do for you?" Just like that. Is that how you ask the question when you want to offer help? Is there something I can do for you? And there's the word there. Um, on the on the website, the examples I give are for things that you can see. So there's a garden outside. There are strawberries in the garden. There are many tulips and daffodils. And then the question, is there a garden at your school? I use a lot of things from nature for the website because that's sort of the secondary focus for the website is things found in the natural world on planet Earth. It's English for the planet. So I'm trying to design the website around English grammar, acquiring English skills, but also a greater awareness of the planet Earth. Um, Maria gives an example. There was a time when, good, when talking about um, something in time. Uh, Jenny says, "My mom was your student 20 years ago." Oh, good. Perhaps that was online or maybe in my classroom. I have taught thousands of people over the years. I'm not sure what the number is, but maybe I had direct contact with her. It was online. Okay. For the weather, I actually would say it's a beautiful day today, or the weather is beautiful today. But when talking about the existence of the weather, so you would say something like, there is a snowstorm coming, or there is snow on the ground, or there has been a lot of rain lately. That's how you would talk about the weather using there. Yes, so talking about snow, there is a lot of snow here. I live in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, and there's a lot of snow on the ground right now. It's pretty cold. The snow will be on the ground probably until April. That's March or April. Okay, going back to there, I've got still about a minute left with that. There's a video on that page, and then I show you how to make questions and statements. One of the things that is a little unusual about there is when you put the subject immediately after there. So if I say something like "there you are" or "there he is," recognizing where you are. If I see you, you're in the store, I lost sight of you, and then I see you, and I say, "Oh, there you are," or somebody else, I say, "Oh, there he is," or if it's a thing, There it is. There it is. Um, so it's a good example of something that you'll hear people do with there. Okay, I'm going to continue with this because I didn't really get started. Um, I'm going to rethink the timer concept. There might be a different way of doing it so that it doesn't intrude on the webcast. But going back to there, um, y- uh, and then just noticing where a person is. So you can say, there he is, or he's there. Either way, there she is, or she's there, or she's over there. And no, you couldn't say there's people because people is plural. You could say there are people. There are people. And you could say there are people over there using there twice. That's the other thing about there is it has different meanings within the same sentence. So if I say there are people over there, the first use of there indicates existence, and the second use of there indicates the location. There are people over there. When there and are put together, sometimes you'll hear people say something like, there are, there are, or not use are. They'll just say, there are people over there. And they might, a person who says something like that might believe that the verb is involved, but you never know. Um, Sometimes when you're speaking very quickly, you don't really notice you're missing a word. There are people over there. There are people over there. There are people over there. Almost sounds like the same thing. There are many books on the shelf, right? Showing the existence of the books. And the question, are there any books on on the shelf? When asking the question with there, I think most people would choose any. Are there any, plural? Is there any? You could use some, uh, but my instinct usually goes to any when you're asking about, a positive number more than zero. And of course, making the negative with there, I'm not there, you're not there, you aren't there, it isn't there, they aren't there, they aren't there, for people and things. They aren't there. Whoops. Sorry. In the chat, I mistyped. They aren't there. If it's a group of things, they aren't there. Or if it's a group of people, they aren't there. And then, of course, asking questions. Um, is it there? Are they there? Are you there? Sometimes when you're asking, when you're talking to a person on the phone and the person isn't responding, you might say something like, "Are you there?" For a person who's on the phone. Um, is there an adverb? Um, yeah, I think it is. Or it's a pronoun. What is it? I think it's a pronoun. Okay. So I'm just reading through the comments. Yes, is there somewhere I can plug in my phone? Not, you don't wanna ask the question, "Is there somewhere can I?" It's remember that, the question starts with, "Is there?" So you'd have to say, "Is there," um, better let's say, "Is there a place where I can plug in my phone?" So I would also change a few words there. The question begins with, "Is there?" And then after where, that's no longer the question part. So you have to put that subject before can and then plug. Is there a place where I can plug in my phone? There you um, you there? Yeah, you could say that, but I think it's better to say, "Are you there?" So is there a pronoun? Yeah, I think it's a pronoun. Of course, I'll look that up after I finish here. Um, it's gotta be a pronoun, right? What is it? Now see, I'm bothered by this. Uh, I'm just gonna ask Google, what part of speech is there? And, okay, so it can be a pronoun because it serves in the position of a subject. It's a dummy subject, so it's a pronoun. But it can also be an adverb, and sometimes it acts like a noun. So, um, my mind only work so fast, and now I have to find where I was in the webcast. I lost the I lost the thing. I lost the oh, here it is. Sorry. I got a zillion tabs open, and now I'm back. Um, the other thing I was gonna do is talk about, get through, and that's a phrasal verb, get through. So, get through is, it has a couple different meanings. It's a phrasal verb, and sometimes it means to finish. So if I say something like, "When do you get through?" It's the same thing as saying, "When are you finished?" And often will hear someone say that to a person who is at work. So if you're at work right now, and I ask you, when do you get through? That's when do you finish working? But then get through also means, I'll put this in the chat, to contact a person or to reach a person. I can't get through. I can't get through. This might be a phone call. You're trying to make a phone call and you can't get through. It might be an internet connection too, but I remember that from the days when we used the landlines and you had a problem with a phone call getting through because the technology was not as sophisticated as what we have now. So a person who couldn't get through was not able to connect. And then get through also uh, can mean to reach a person, reach a person's, I don't know, psyche, maybe, uh, attention, maybe, to an important matter. I can't get through to him how uh, important this is, as an example. I can't get through to him how important this is. We have to get through to him. We have to see. This is the thing I do when I'm on the whiteboard, isn't it? If I had software where I can show this in a larger forum, I think that would be better. But here's another example. I can't, we have to get through to him the importance of this. It's hard to get through to him. Can't get through to her. I'm trying to get through to her the importance of this. So so it has that meaning too. And then when you finish school, that's not we often use it for school. How long did it take for you to get through? And then we'll just use uh, college. How long did it take for you to get through college? Or how long does it take a person to get through college? Or how long does it take for a person to get through school? If someone begins school at the age of, let's say, 5 or 6 years old, how long does it take for that person to get through the school system? In the United States, a lot of kids begin in kindergarten. So they're at about the age of 5, and then they finish at the age of about 18, 17, or 18. So it takes them about 12 years to get through school, get through the elementary school system and the secondary school system. Uh, the student says, so I assume you live in Australia. The Australian accent is terrible. I think it sounds okay. Actually, that Australian accent sometimes sounds a lot like an American accent. I hear a lot of similarities. I think it depends on where you live. So you're in Queensland, and I'm not sure if there's a special form of accent they have or a dialect, but I don't think I would have any trouble. But they do have interesting vocabulary, don't they? A lot of very different vocabulary words for just everyday items. Okay, so so now we're on the subject of accents. Maria is asking if I got through a tough time is correct. Yes, that is. I got through a tough time. That would be good. Um, I think the British accent sounds nice. I listen to the BBC and watch British television programs and movies. I don't have any problem with it. I think it sounds good. And of course, I like British novelists. So I'm a big fan of British English. And sometimes I feel maybe a little bit intimidated by it because it is quite good. The grammar, the word choice, level of diction, it's all good. I think people sometimes do prefer American English because it's simpler and there's not perhaps as much of an emphasis on proper grammar. There are a lot of shortcuts you can take in American English. But if you are really interested in English, then you should look at both British and American English. Taking off my glasses because it's easier to see certain things. Um, I need the glasses to see things that are far away from me, but to see my computer screen, it's not a problem. And it's actually less eye strain if I take my glasses off. It it's easier on my eyes. Okay, so I'm at about 30 minutes, and that's about all I intended on doing for today. Uh, Again, I'll try to come on more often. I said I would do that yesterday, and here I am today, and I'll try to do something tomorrow, and let's see how many days I can do this in a row and just see what the results are. My main concern is that uh, there's too much exposure, that I come on too often and then people don't show up because, oh, here's Paul again and he's not doing anything interesting. That's a huge fear of mine. So we'll see. Again, I like to experiment, see what works and see what doesn't work. I've been doing stuff online for a long time, and I'd like to really focus on the website, this channel, and my other channel, English for the Planet, where you'll find videos for pronunciation and just really, really basic English. I don't want to put those types of videos on Learn American English Online because I think the kinds of people who go to that channel want advice regarding American forms of expression, communication, grammar. What is it that everybody says? That kinda thing. So, I don't wanna bog Learn American English Online down with, pronunciation videos or basic grammar videos because I have that other channel, and, I think I can go back and forth between the 2 because I think pronunciation is an interesting thing. Trying to teach it online is interesting. So, I'll continue to do that as well as, some other things that I'm experimenting with. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna take off, and I can't guarantee it'll be at this time tomorrow. It's 4:41 in the afternoon here. It might be tomorrow morning. I don't know. I really don't know. Um, but you know, like I said, I'll try to make it a regular thing. And once I get into a rhythm, then I think I'll know what works. Maybe sometimes I'll do it in the morning, afternoon. Maybe I'll do it 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm up a lot. I wake up at weird times. Okay. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you soon.